Good evening and welcome. I'm Rebecca Klein, State Vice Regent, host for the virtual event, along with our State Regent, Susan Metzger. Ms. Metzger, thank you for joining us. Tonight, we will celebrate our chapter regents, highlighting patriotism activities in their chapters. Introducing the chapter regents by each district are the hardworking district directors, Sherry Smith, Northwest District, Rebecca Spalding, Northeast District, Donna Roberts, Southeast District, and Virginia McNitt, Southwest District. An additional part of this evening will be the recognition of an outstanding chapter and chapter regent in East District, and the state winner will be announced at the end of the program. Let's get started. The Northwest District has over 540 members and 13 chapters located in small towns, farming communities, and large cities. Regardless of the horrendous year, many chapters stayed active close to home. The Northwest District Director, Sherry Smith, will present the district report and then the district chapter regents by organizational dates of the chapter. Ms. Smith?
The Northwest District of the Kansas Society Daughters of the American Revolution was unable to hold a district meeting during this pandemic year of 2020. But social distancing and other limitations did not stop our daughters from serving God, home, and country within their chapters, community, and country. The Northwest District officers are proud of our daughters who embodied the spirit of the Rise and Shine administration. As of this writing, our district guidelines do not include a provision for electronic meetings. The proposed KSDAR bylaw amendments that will be presented and voted on during the 2021 hybrid KSDAR state conference contains provision to allow electronic district meetings. If passed, the intention is to hold a virtual Northwest District meeting later in the spring 2021 to address the time-sensitive action of electing a nominating committee charged with developing a slate of candidates for the 2022-2025 Northwest District officers. There is optimism that KSDAR will be able to welcome home Kansas daughters to an in-person 2021 September meeting. This in-person gathering will include district meetings where the election process and other agenda items will be addressed. Polly Ogden Chapter, Regent Laura Renfro. The Polly Ogden Chapter has been surviving this pandemic by seeking out every opportunity to rise and shine. The chapter started a book club so they could read and then meet via Zoom to learn more about different patriots or a point in history. These meetings have been very meaningful to their daughters and gave them a day-to-day connection that they were missing with so much social isolation. Polly Ogden has been making masks, blankets, delivering supplies to veterans, women in combat, and to our American Indian students at Haskell. The chapter amended their bylaws so they could hold virtual meetings. Polly Ogden also contributed to the Patriot Post. Chapter members met up to parade 100-year-old veteran Bill Ogden and presented him with a certificate and a blanket. Polly Ogden presented the Distinguished Citizens Award to Kansas State University President Richard Myers, a retired four-star general, for his amazing life of service, including serving as the 15th chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Throughout this year, Polly Ogden has been there for each other. As one member said in a recent Zoom meeting, just like DAR daughters are there for one another in the national organization. This difficult year has brought out the best in their members. At 109 years of age, the oldest of the Northwest District chapters, Polly Ogden was named after the great-grandmother of their organizing regent, Mary Purcell. Polly was the wife of Sergeant Ebenezer Cole, a Minuteman in the Revolution from New York. Polly Ogden Chapter, Charter Number 1102, was organized as a 21st Kansas chapter on April 9, 1912, and is honored to have the current KSDAR State Regent, Susan Lee Metzger, as an active member of the chapter. Abilene Chapter, Regent D. Williams. The current owner of Abilene's historic Seeley Mansion allows the Abilene chapter to have their annual birthday month meeting at the mansion. This stately residence was the home of two of their chapter's past members, one of whom served as state regent. As the mansion is supported only by public tours, revenues and the number of volunteers have been greatly affected by COVID. The current owner is elderly and needed the help, so their chapter volunteered to scrub and dust everything in sight, plus had great fun working together on the project. Summer finally arrived, and Regent D. Marshall and member April Barker decided to clean some of Abilene's DAR historical markers. In September, Dee and her spouse attended the NSDAR-supported Wreaths Across America traveling display in Clay Center. While there for his service in Vietnam, her husband was presented with a Wreaths Across America cap and T-shirt, a pin commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, and a letter from the President of the United States. The chapter regent lives on a major city street and decorates her home with banners and outlines her sidewalk with American flags on Memorial Day, Independence Day, and Veterans Day. 3 of their chapter members fly the United States flag 24/7. For Veterans Day, the chapter was able to listen to a Vietnam veteran share his military experiences. At their chapter meeting, Christmas cards were signed for active military serving on a naval vessel. In December, the chapter again donated a wreath to Wreath Across America, and their members helped place wreaths at the Fort Riley Military Cemetery. The Abilene chapter was organized on February 5, 1916, with organizing regent Minnie Wilcox. The name Abilene is biblical, found in the 3rd chapter, 1st verse of Luke. Of Greek origin, the word means a plain, Abilene, the city of the plains. Our 15th Kansas State Regent hailed from the Abilene chapter, Marion Seeley of the Seeley Mansion family. Her term was from 1938 to 1940. Nathan Edson, Chapter Regent Jenna Walters Fancello. 7 members of the Nathan Edson chapter contributed over 1,400 hours in making PPE for those in need. Many masks were sent to Fort Riley, Irwin Army Medical Center, Clay Center National Guardsmen, and the United States Army working at the Navajo Nation. Wreaths Across America in Clay Center honored 1,085 veterans at the Greenwood Cemetery. This was the 4th year for that activity, but the 1st year where all veterans interred at the cemetery received a wreath. Nearly 1,100 U.S. flags were used as markers for Wreaths Across America. 10 members of the Nathan Edson and Desire Toby Sear chapters were able to participate in this event. The Nathan Edson chapter was excited to host Wreaths Across America mobile education exhibit on September 26, 2020. The national exhibit was parked downtown during the annual Clay Center Pyotique Festival, where visitors could easily see the mobile display and were encouraged to learn more about the organization. 80 visitors came through the exhibit, and 1 Vietnam veteran received a special pin during a ceremony offered by the mobile exhibit staff. The 2 staff members, both from the Washington, D.C. area, were extremely impressed by Clay Center's community's support and enjoyed their time in Kansas. State Regent Susan Metzger, State Chaplain Rita Blucka, and Arthur Barrett and Abilene Chapter Regents Susan Edamalaki and Dee Marshall were guests who visited the display, as well as other DAR members from across the state. The chapter also participated with 40 other Kansas chapters during the DAR Day of Service statewide project, making 23 no-sew fleece blankets for veterans. Local nursing home veterans were delighted to share via social media their appreciation for receiving these blankets. The chapter regent helped put out flags for Memorial Day at 6 area cemeteries and brought her grandsons to help. What a great teaching moment. The Concordia chapter was organized 100 years ago on March 4, 1921 by organizing regent Ada Fry Messel. Named for the city of its location, their first chapter name choice had been Republican Valley, but that was rejected by NSDAR as being too political. The Nathan Edson chapter was organized November 25, 1933 at Clay Center by organizing Regent Henriette Edson Van Noy, and is named after her Revolutionary War patriot from Rhode Island. On October 18, 1989, these two chapters merged, retaining the name of Nathan Edson while retaining the chapter number of Concordia 6010. To date, these are the only merged chapters in Kansas. Shirley Capel, who served as our 38th Kansas State Regent from 2007 to 2010, is an active member of the Nathan Edson chapter. Mary Wade Strother, Melissa Stuplik, Regent. Mary Wade Strother member Kathy Jackson of Houston began virtually attending chapter meetings in 2020 when the chapter started offering a Zoom format. Katie is a longtime member who joined from her mother's application, and her aunt and several other family members reside in nearby Tuscany, Kansas. At one time, there were 7 members in the chapter from her patriot, William Skinner of Pennsylvania. Katie is married to Dawn, a Vietnam veteran, and we have all heard stories of how Vietnam veterans were treated upon their return. Unfortunately, Dawn lived those stories. The chapter sent a card and a challenge coin from the Army chaplain Emil Capon Museum with a note thanking Don for his service to his country. His response made such an impact on their members that they wanted to do more. Mary Douglas, as her members project, made a Valor lap quilt for Don. After the first time that Don was publicly thanked, it meant so much to he and his wife that they started making sure other men and women knew that their service was appreciated and recognized. From getting to know Katie and her husband, the chapter realized how important it is to really take time to thank our vets. This year, challenge coins with a thank you on the obverse side were purchased by the chapter and presented to Vietnam veterans residing in Tuscany, Minneapolis, and other area towns to thank them publicly for their service. Mary Wade Strother chapter is now a Vietnam War commemorative partner and plans to do more activities and events when it's safe to do so. Mary Wade Strother has made this a theme for several projects that will continue throughout 2021. The chapter also sent needed items and funding to Fort Dodge Soldiers Home, as well as cleaned several veteran gravestones in area cemeteries. Pauline Calder, whose term as the 23rd Kansas State Regent spanned the years 1962 to 65, was a member of the Mary Wade Strother chapter. Now in its 99th year, this chapter was organized on October 9, 1922, NSDAR Charter Number 1545. Mary Wade Strother was the wife of Patriot Captain John Strother of Virginia, an ancestor of their organizing regent, Grace Snyder. Desire Toby Sears, Becky Craig, Regent. 9 Desire Toby Sears chapters members gathered on DAR Day of Service to cut and tie 10 lap blankets. The blankets, along with chocolate treats, were distributed to veterans in local nursing homes. Currently, the making of 7-piece quilts continues, each featuring a special design that represents honor. These quilts of valor will be given to area Korean and Vietnam veterans. All this is made possible by material donations from Haley Papelka, with Blada Isaacson and Era Ray Kirk doing the sewing. 10 pounds of canceled stamps were collected and sent to Stamps for the Wounded. Chapter and CAR members sent postcards in observance of Flag Day and greeting cards throughout the year to local veterans and veterans at the Kansas Soldiers Home at Fort Dodge. Dozens of flags are raised and taken down on Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Veterans Day by chapter members with the assistance of CAR and 4-H members. A total of 4,324 pounds of aluminum cans were collected from 11 drop-off sites throughout the county. The aluminum, then recycled, earned $990 for the Kansas Honor Flights. Facebook posts and a newspaper article about Kansas Honor Flights and DAR participation helped promote these can donations. Chapter members sewed a plethora of face masks, which were sent to Forts Bragg and Riley. Facebook posts and 2 talks on RE, The wearing of red on Fridays to remember everyone deployed were used to promote awareness of active duty military. Dozens of letters and notes of encouragement were sent to deployed military personnel. The Desire Toby Sears Chapter Regent thanks the members for these wonderful gifts to welcome home our veterans and active duty military. The Desire Toby Sears Chapter was organized April 12, 1924, with Ona Snyder Drake of Mankato organizing regent. The chapter was named after her ancestor, Desire Toby Sears of Massachusetts, who was known as the Mother of Patriots, having 5 sons who served in the Revolutionary War. The chapter is proud that the 40th Kansas State Regent, Brenda Judd Dooley, 2013 to 2016, is a member of their chapter. Courtney Spalding, Diana Crouch Regent. During 2020, Courtney Spalding donated sweatpants, blankets, slippers, gift cards, and cash to the Fort Dodge Soldiers Home, along with donations for wreaths across America to the Fort Dodge, Kansas Old Soldiers Cemetery. One of their chapter daughters continued researching for the faces of Margraten, a project to provide a photograph of all World War II Kansas GIs buried in the American Cemetery in the Netherlands. During 2020, Courtney Spalding received 2 grants totaling $1,500 to landscape an area at the Kansas Veterans Cemetery in Waukegan with a Never Forget garden, honoring the national commemoration of the centennial of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Additional plantings will commence in the spring of 2021 as weather permits and will include the installation of the Never Forget garden marker. Courtney Spalding also presented one of their daughters, Sheila Hackmaster, with a Community Service Award for her participation in bringing the display Remembering Our Fallen to her hometown, Plainville, Kansas. She was instrumental in bringing this display, a photographic war memorial honoring our nation's military fallen from the War on Terror, September 11, 2001, to present. For her Members Project, daughter Monica Dryling indexed the graves of the veterans buried in the Bunker Hill, Kansas Cemetery, placing a record of their names and grave locations in the local Bunker Hill Museum. In late February 2020, a chapter daughter honored Donald Stratton, one of the 3 remaining survivors of the USS Arizona, as a motor carrier that carried his remains from Colorado Springs for burial in Red Cloud, Nebraska, passed by a country road and highway intersection. In the dark of the evening, she waved an American flag, illuminated with a headlamp, as the convoy, which included family, law enforcement, and Patriot Guard riders, passed. Courtney Spalding Chapter, organized April 26, 1926. It was originally headquartered in Russell and relocated to Hayes in 1983. The chapter name was derived from the ancestor of organizing regent Coral Courtney Carter, whose patron was Private Thomas Courtney of Virginia, and chapter member Mary Lois Rubenthal, a descendant of Sergeant Ezekiel Spalding of Massachusetts. Arthur Barrett, Susan Etta Malachy, Regent. Arthur Barrett Chapter Regent Susan Etta Malachy spent more than 300 hours making masks for school children and area healthcare workers. Chapter members made 15 no-sew-tie blankets and lap quilts during the DAR Day of Service in October. The blankets were then gifted to local veterans. This fall, 3 of their chapter members joined local Girl Scout troops in conducting a flag retirement ceremony. More than 150 flags collected from residents of 2 area towns were respectfully incinerated during the ceremony. Chapter member Bonnie Feldhouse spent countless hours assessing the graves of Civil War veterans interred in the Antioch Cemetery, working with the American Legion to obtain replacement stones as needed. Bonnie also obtained and assisted in the installation of improved signage for the wells in the Proctor Cemetery and wrote letters to area residents to help raise cemetery maintenance funds through the local Cemetery Foundation Fund Match Day. Several Arthur Barrett members also assisted with cleanup of local cemeteries damaged in the storms this past year. The chapter shared United States flags with grade school students, veterans, and American History Essay and DAR Good Citizen winners. Students in the 6th grade at a local parochial school received copies of the Pledge of Allegiance. 2 new Constitution Week display boards were created, and the chapter provided 8 display boards to be used at libraries, bank lobbies, and store windows in the area. Janet Zayas provided a Constitution Week video to her granddaughter's class to view during Constitution Week. At Christmas, the chapter collected and sent gifts to active duty service members. The Arthur Barrett chapter was organized on July 26, 1928, at a meeting held in the historic home of the Albert Galentine Barrett family, located in what is now the extinct town of Barrett, Kansas. Of the 25 members, 18 were descendants of Arthur Barrett, a private from Pennsylvania, including Phoebe Barrett von Vliet, the organizing regent. Sarah Stewart, Carolyn Peterson, regent. Donald Stratton, World War II Navy veteran and one of the last 3 living survivors of the USS Arizona, died February 15th of 2020 in Colorado Springs. On February 29th, a motorcade traveled nearly 400 miles to transport his remains for burial in his hometown of Red Cloud, Nebraska. Several members of the Sarah Stewart chapter joined other citizens to pay homage to Mr. Stratton's motorcade as it passed through Smith Center. Throughout 2020, the chapter mailed birthday cards to veterans in the area. On October 10th, DAR Day of Service, 5 Sarah Stewart daughters met and made 3 fleece blankets for area veterans. 2 blankets were given to veterans in one of their local nursing homes. A purple baseball-themed blanket was presented to Scott Lyon, who served in Germany and Africa in the 1970s. And another fleece blanket was presented to Francis Runyon, a World War II Navy veteran, who after the war served as a pastor in several Kansas towns. By wearing masks and aided by a plexiglass barrier, Sarah Stewart daughters were able to make these presentations in person. The 3rd blanket was sent to a World War II veteran and former Smith Center resident who has since relocated to another town to be closer to family. On April 18, 1931, the official organization meeting of the Sarah Stewart chapter was held in Smith Center. The chapter was named for the wife of the patriot of the organizing vice regent, Alice Stewart Smith, Private Elias Stewart of Connecticut. Their organizing regent was Nettie Douglas. Sarah Stewart, now in their 90th year, is proud that the 34th KSDAR state regent, Patricia Doris Travis, 1995 to 1998, is a member of their chapter. Smoky Hill, Jenny Flett, regent. This chapter brought patriotic awareness to their community by involving students from Ellsworth Junior Senior High School in their Constitution Week observance. At 2:55 p.m. on September 17, 2020, several of their members met at the school flagpole and were joined by high school seniors and SAR members Logan and Noah Erickson. These twin brothers participated by reading the preamble to the Constitution, ringing a small handbell 13 times, and playing a trumpet solo of the Star Spangled Banner. At the same time, church bells from 2 downtown churches tolled 13 times in honor of our original 13 colonies. SAR member and local attorney John Sherman was present at the flagpole in his Revolutionary War uniform. The timing was perfect as school dismissed for the day as the ceremony began. Several students gathered to observe the event. Because the blue haze produced by the local river gives a smoky appearance to the surrounding terrain, the Indians referred to the area as the Smoky Hills, thus the name of the river and for the Smoky Hill chapter. This chapter, in its 84th year, was established on May 11, 1937, with Gertrude Kunkel organizing regent. Jonathan Gilbert, Susan Key, regent. The Jonathan Gilbert chapter had many things to celebrate this year related to the subject of patriotism. One of their programs was presented on the Trees of Veterans 250 project. We were happy to be part of this initiative. A second project focusing on patriotism was that of Wreaths Across America. This chapter proudly contributed to the fund and provided wreaths to veterans in Rush, Ness, and Logan County cemeteries. Their proudest patriotic event a year was bestowing of the Distinguished Citizen Medal on retired Colonel David T. Dennis, United States Air Force. Colonel Dennis proudly served our country for 29 years. A native of Great Bend, Dennis worked extensively in the missile maintenance program, helping with the dismantling of missiles in Russia and surrounding countries. He served as a commander of the Malmstrom Air Force Base in Great Falls, Montana. Following his military service, Mr. Dennis became a computer science instructor at Wichita North High School. Following retirement from that position, he currently serves as a District 3 representative on the Sedgwick County Commission. The chapter is proud to honor his service and thanks our state and national societies for their support in honoring this veteran. Jonathan Gilbert Chapter of La Crosse was organized on October 26, 1937 by organizing Regent Lola McCormick Robinson. It is named in honor of her patriot, Jonathan Gilbert, who during the Revolutionary War served on the Committee of Safety for Gloucester, Massachusetts. John Athey, Gail Bremenkamp, Regent. 4 chapter members met on DAR Day of Service and crafted 5 no-sew tie blankets to gift to local veterans. In 2020, the chapter became a partner with the United States of America Vietnam War Commemoration. A write-up on Constitution Week was sent to and published in a local newspaper, and donated miscellaneous toiletries, underwear, and cards were collected and sent to the Fort Dodge Soldiers Home. The chapter gathered 1,870 canceled stamps that were sent to Stamps for the Wounded in Virginia. Chapter member Marjorie Herzog participated in the Sons of the American Legion fundraiser event to raise gas money for the Ride for the Wall by donating her time and skill as an EMT. Sharon Marth donated $50 to a local high school philanthropic group that posts United States flags in residents' yards on appropriate flag days. As KSDAR state flag chair, Sharon stores and delivers the state flags to state meetings. She also donated $40 to have a flag flown over Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C. in honor of all of her aunts and uncles that have served in the military. The John Athey chapter was organized August 4, 1949, Ada Elizabeth Allen Mitchum organizing regent. Ruth Cushman, the organizing regent's twin sister, did much of the genealogical research for the charter members. And in appreciation of the work of these sisters, the chapter was named for their ancestor, John Athey, a corporal serving from Virginia. Goodland, Jane Philbrick, regent. Because of COVID-19, the Goodland chapter, like all organizations, was extremely limited in its ability to participate in events. They did place DAR flags on the headstone of deceased members of their chapter on Memorial Day as a tribute to them. It was also an opportunity to invite a potential new member to spend a morning with members to see one of their chapter activities that promotes the ideals of DAR. Their spring meetings were all canceled, but one of their members was able to give a presentation on the Tuskegee Airmen exhibit at the High Plains Museum, and several members attended a Zoom presentation featuring Tuskegee Airmen. In October, the Goodland chapter hosted 5 Northwest District chapters for these chapters' official state regent visit, where a luncheon was enjoyed with State Regent Susan Metzger. Although the pandemic impacted attendance, those that were there enjoyed the fellowship and the opportunity to meet other daughters. There are currently no scheduled chapter meetings for the spring of 2021. When they will be able to resume meeting in person is yet to be determined. But their chapter is planning to once again gather in May to place flags on past members' graves for Memorial Day, as this is a special project for their chapter that hopefully will be continued in the coming years. The Goodland chapter was organized November 9, 1959, and received its official charter on December 2nd, with Hazel Reed as organizing regent. The chapter is named Good Land because of the area's excellent farmland. Major Elijah Hyde, Julia Hoke, regent. Due to pandemic concerns, the Major Elijah Hyde chapter has not held any chapter meetings, but that did not stop their members from supporting the community. Several times during 2020, chapter member Rosalie Hammerschmidt and her husband undertook cleanup at St. Mary's Catholic Cemetery in Russell. This included removing dozens of tattered American flags that had been placed on veterans' graves for Memorial Day and other holidays. After a few months of exposure to the elements, Rosalie and her Hodar collected the weathered flags and took them to the local VFW for proper disposal. The youngest of the Northwest District chapters, Major Elijah Hyde, celebrates their 1994 organization on Constitution Day, September 17th. Their 12 charter members were all lineal descendants of Major Hyde, who served in the Revolutionary War from Connecticut. Major Elijah Hyde Organizing Regent Ida Wilkerson Eichmann remains an active member of the chapter.
It has been a pleasure to recognize the outstanding achievements of the Northwest District chapters. Thank you, Ms. Smith, for introducing the chapters. Each year, KSDAR recognizes an outstanding chapter and chapter regent for each of the 4 districts. Outstanding chapters and regents excel in chapter reporting, meeting deadlines, gaining and retaining members, promoting youth activities, supporting junior membership, attending state meetings, workshops, and conferences. Chapter member involvement at the state and district levels are also increased under the regent's leadership. Categories and activities are weighted, so the size of the chapter is considered in calculating the scores. Each outstanding chapter and regent receives a certificate of award, and each regent a gift certificate. In addition to these awards, the state outstanding regent is awarded an outstanding chapter regent pin and an engraved crystal cube. Poly Ogden chapter has been supporting patriotism for 109 years. There are 164 enthusiastic members who have welcomed home veterans, youth contest winners, and recognized outstanding community leaders with awards. They have excelled in membership gains and taken pride in supporting junior members to become leaders on the state and national levels. Our present state regent, Susan Metzger, is a prime example of their benevolence since becoming a DAR member. The chapter has 7 members who have taken leadership courses over the past year, with additional members in the process of taking courses. Congratulations to the Poly Ogden chapter as the outstanding district chapter. The Poly Ogden chapter regent has surpassed what is normally expected of a chapter regent and has taken an extra task and responsibilities without fail or reluctance. She encourages members of her chapter with respect and unchanging fortitude of a voluntary work ethic. Congratulations to Laura Renfro, outstanding chapter regent, Northwest District, for 9 years of service in DAR. We will proceed. The Northeast District has over 1,200 members in 19 chapters and spans large cities and small towns. Rebecca Spalding, Northeast District Director, will present her report, then introduce the chapter regents. Ms. Spalding.
Hello, Kansas Daughters. The Northeast District Daughters have exemplified the work of historic preservation, education, and patriotism this past year. Chapters found new creative ways to engage their membership, raise funds for projects, and of course, made almost 7,000 pieces of PPE gear for our communities. Topeka Chapter, Rebecca Spalding, Regent. Topeka Chapter was organized April 2nd, 1896 in Topeka. Chapter members volunteered at the VA hospital, bringing joy to veterans by sponsoring birthday parties and snacks throughout the year. The chapter purchased an air fryer for the dementia and short-term rehab units of Comrie O'Neill Veterans Administration. The units will share the air fryer and make small batches of snacks and food items, as well as using it as a teaching tool. Members made face masks for veterans and staff members and sewed quilts of valor angel quilts, and no-sew blankets for the VA. Betty Washington, Mary Burchill, Regent. Betty Washington chapter was organized October 17, 1896 in Lawrence. They have a flag minute at every meeting and made fleece blankets for veterans. They made cupcakes for veterans at one of the retirement homes in Lawrence for Memorial Day. Captain Jesse Leavenworth, Charlotte Hoveder, Regent. Captain Jesse Leavenworth was organized October 23, 1906 in Leavenworth. 22 chapter members contributed 36 hours and an additional 12 volunteers, including high school seniors and friends and family of chapter members, created 42 no-sew blankets to distribute to veterans in nursing homes and the Eisenhower VA domiciliary in Leavenworth, Kansas. The October day was sunny and warm, and pictures of the Day of Service project were submitted to and published by the Leavenworth Times newspaper on the front page of the October 14, 2020 issue. This project was a success because regardless of how many blankets were made, our veterans will benefit from our love and hard work. Atchison chapter, Carrie Anderson, Regent. Atchison was organized January 28, 1908 in Atchison. The chapter presented copies of She Fought Too, a book about women Revolutionary War heroes, to 4 elementary schools and the Atchison Public Library. They sent cards to service members on a ship and gave snack bags to ROTC members at a local college. They also participated in the tie-dye blanket service project. Samuel Linscott, Tina Brucken, Regent. Samuel Linscott was organized January 28, 1909 in Holton. The 2020 through May 2021 programs continued to be dedicated to Purple Heart recipients who either were born or grew up in Jackson County. A monument in Linscott Park in Holton, Kansas, which begins with World War II and continues through our current conflicts throughout the world. Their meetings were featured in the local newspaper. James Ross, Susan Cornelison, Regent. James Ross was organized July 26, 1909 in Shawnee. The chapter started 2020 out strong with volunteering for veterans. They delivered meals to the VA emergency room for after-hour admissions and worked on bingo sessions. Once COVID hit, they continued to serve local vets by donating masks to the VA in Leavenworth. In the fall, chapter members made blankets, putting time in either at home or at the VFW in Olathe as a Northeast District activity. The chapter looks forward to December when they can participate in Wreaths Across America. Olathe, Kathy Hayes, Regent. Olathe was organized November 11, 1921 in Olathe. The chapter continues to support the needs of the Eisenhower VA hospital patients. Flags, pocket constitutions, flag pins, Vietnam commemorative pins, and a blue star flag were distributed during 2020. The chapter was proud to support the American Revolution Memorial in Wichita, Kansas, and the Gold Star Families Memorial in Olathe. Veterans are honored by continuing to place flags on the graves at Olathe Memorial Cemetery. And this year, a headstone was placed on a Civil War veteran's grave because of the research and determination of Laura Easley. John Hopt, Judy Ryder, Regent. John Hopt was organized November 17, 1949 in Topeka. The chapter made 9 no-sew blankets, which were given to World War II and Vietnam-era veterans. Members sent a meat and cheese tray to the Topeka VA Hospital for Christmas and a Constitution Week display at 2 local libraries, along with a women's suffrage display at 1 local library. Shawnee Mission, Laura Kaiser, Regent. Shawnee Mission was organized December 1, 1959 in Shawnee Mission. The chapter displayed great patriotic pride by commemorating Paul Revere's ride with lanterns in their windows on April 18th. Members covered their yards with flags July 4th, and Vietnam veterans were honored with pins and certificates on Vietnam Veterans Day. They had a great time September 17th, Constitution Day, ringing their bells. Chapter members made over 800 masks and made no-sew blankets for veterans. Wyandotte, Patricia Grunke, Regent. Wyandotte was organized October 29, 1953 in Kansas City. The year 2020 started it as any other year with a traveling trunk show of quilts from the Kansas Historical Society and an exceptionally interesting March meeting with Speaker Wapatho Johnson, who is the mother of member Barbara Sass's great-grandson. She presented cultural information about her Kickapoo people who were originally from the Great Lakes area and were forced to move south. She strives to maintain cultural practices with her son, who is a part of the Bear Clan. Tomahawk, Barbara Butler, Regent. Tomahawk was organized April 21, 1954 in Prairie Village. Throughout the year, the chapter collected and distributed personal care items for active service personnel and contributed more than 200 Christmas cards to the USS Roosevelt. Tomahawk also donated 39 winter coats to veterans, supplied frozen meals to the Leavenworth VA Hospital, donated books, magazines, water, and even dog chow to homeless veterans. Each year, a sheet cake is given to the Veterans Salute in February and supply party trays for veteran activities in Leavenworth. They participated in the July 4th ringing of the bells at Liberty Memorial, Kansas City, Missouri, an SAR flag retirement, and the neighborhood playing of taps on Memorial Day. Mission Hills, Jerry Kling, Regent. Mission Hills was organized February 20th, 1958 in Mission Hills. Although 2020 was a challenging year, the members participated in activities including nominating Ezekiel Crozier, an Afghanistan Purple Heart recipient, for the DAR Distinguished Citizen Award, and Kaylin Johnson for the Bronze JROTC Medal. They participated in chapter and state-sponsored projects for veterans, which included donating needed items to the VA Center at Leavenworth and participating in the statewide Day of Service project of no-sew blankets and participating in Wreaths Across America. Sagamore, Janet Alley, Regent. Sagamore was organized April 17, 1965 in Leawood. Sagamore sent over $1,500 in monetary donations and gifts to the VA and donated $300 to Kansas's Welcome Home project. Members made 37 paracord bracelets for active duty military and 44 tie blankets for veterans, along with 56 pillowcases and 4 care packages to overseas service members. Members served veterans at a free breakfast through a drive-through on Veterans Day and sponsored 42 Wreaths Across America wreaths. Prairie Rose, Sharon Powers, Regent. Prairie Rose was organized October 10, 1980 in Overland Park. Members participated in Wreaths Across America at the Johnson County Memorial Gardens and laid a single wreath on the grave of a Civil War veteran in the Linwood Pioneer Cemetery. Gently worn clothing was contributed to Annie's Closet at the Leavenworth VA Medical Center. Christmas cards were sent to active service members, and no-sew blankets were made and delivered to veterans. Quivira Crossing, Cindy St. John, Regent. Quivira Crossing was organized September 29, 1990 in Lenexa. The chapter had a great year despite not being able to meet in person due to COVID. They provided new members with a 1-year subscription to the American Spirit magazine to encourage them to engage in DAR. In October, they celebrated their 30th anniversary with a virtual celebration tea with Kansas State Regent Susan Metzger as a guest speaker. The chapter provided 1,432 Christmas cards expressing holiday cheer and gratitude to sailors aboard the Teddy Roosevelt aircraft carrier. Prairie Flint Hills, Dixie Cravens, Regent. Prairie Flint Hills was organized June 12, 1991 in Dover. The chapter placed 25 wreaths on graves of veterans with flag and flowers and made 21 blankets to be given to veterans at the VA Center and to some of their veteran speakers. They distributed flag booklets on the proper way to display and when to fly the flag at a laundromat in Pauline. Three Trails West, Monette Keitzman, Regent. Three Trails West was organized October 12, 1996 in Stillwell. While this year was certainly challenging in many ways, Three Trails West membership found a way to stay active and engage with each other in their communities, finding ways to gather donations of items, dollars, and that most precious commodity, time. They figured out where to put them and where they would do the most good. Service to America numbers includes these items as well as making and donations of masks and other items of PPE gear for frontline workers and the elderly. Ephraim Baser, Jean Pinnock, Regent. Ephraim Baser was organized April 21st, 2012 in Baser. Although this year has presented a few problems for the chapter, they were still able to participate in the World Day of Service with our members making the no-sew blankets, which were given to the VA's home-based primary care. This service takes care of the homebound veterans. At Christmas time, they filled stockings with goodies for the veterans and then distributed them to the needy and the ones without family at Christmas time. John and Hattie Possum, Sherry Bowling, Regent. John and Hattie Possum was organized February 2nd, 2013 in DeSoto. The chapter was busy during the last year, starting with the George Washington birthday celebration, displaying flags in the local park in DeSoto, and dropping off donations to the VA in Leavenworth. They participated in the Tie Blanket Challenge and helped make several blankets for donations. They hope to continue with many programs and committees this new year.
This concludes the presentation for the Northeast District chapters. Thank you, Ms. Spalding, for presenting the excellent accomplishments of the chapter regents. The Captain Jesse Leavenworth chapter has given over 100 years of service for the DAR Society. With 135 members, the chapter never ceases to care for veterans with several ongoing projects. The chapter has increased membership, supported their junior members, and encourages the leadership development of its members. 6 members completed leadership courses this past year. The most noted member of their chapter is National Officer Catherine Walker West, who presently serves as the corresponding Secretary General in SDAR. She started DAR as a junior member. Congratulations to the Captain Jesse Leavenworth chapter as the Northeast District Outstanding Chapter. Charlotte Hoverder has been a member of DAR since 2014 and served the chapter as Vice Regent prior to Regency. She guides the chapter members in many community outreach projects with focus on veterans and encourages junior members to excel in leadership roles. Congratulations, Charlotte, as Outstanding Chapter Regent for the Northeast District. The Southeast District has 14 chapters with approximately 490 members. Donna Roberts, Southeast District Director, will present her district report, then the chapter regents by organizational date. Mrs. Roberts.
In ordinary times for the district meetings and planning. We are proud how we managed to persevere, being safe and still serve God, home, and country. Communication has been done through many personal phone calls, emails, and text. Encouraging our regents and members to attend the Kansas virtual conferences, the New Horizon and new members classes to better learn about the Daughters of the American Revolution on the national and state levels, and sometimes just encouragement and to answer their questions. Hosting for the Southeast District has been challenging, which carried us through 2 years, September 2019 to April 2021. Once again, Southeast District prevailed and stayed the course to see the task completed. We are certainly looking forward to being together in person September 10th and 11th of 2021. State September Conference, Courtyard by the Marriott in Junction City, and holding our Southeast District meeting to welcome you home. General Edward Hand, Ottawa, organized November 24th, 1899, Susan Davis Regent. For Americanism, 200 U.S. flag booklets and 500 Pledge of Allegiance cards, 250 American Creed cards were donated to the schools for Constitution Week. Members participated also in the Bells Across America by the traditional ringing of the bell at the local train station. A proclamation was received from the Ottawa mayor. Constitution Week kits were delivered to 3 area schools. Posters were placed in schools, the local library, courthouse, and grocery stores. For Project Patriot, 3 boxes of goodies were sent to a member's daughter deployed in Turkey, and a holiday box containing treats and greetings to a member's son deployed in the Azores. Our annual collection of money was sent to Topeka VA Hospital and Leavenworth Hospital, along with holiday greetings. A member remains in contact with 2 veterans of the Army 89th Cavalry of World War II. Another member was able to donate boots and clothing to the Eisenhower facility in Leavenworth just in time for a veteran in need. On Veterans Day, 30 flags were distributed throughout our community. Esther Lowry Independence, organized June 14th, 1905, Shirley Rasmussen, Regent. This year, the National Defense Americanism message was presented at every meeting. A program on how to fold a flag was given to an elementary school. A member received an award for helping her community revitalize a historic GAR monument. 2 programs relating to American Indians was given, the Cherokee Emperor Moytoy and the Indians at Fort Row in 1861. Constitution Week displays relating to historical events in 1787 were shown at schools and the public library. Service for Veterans, a member made a quilt of valor and presented it to a female Vietnam veteran. We presented another veteran with a gift basket. Cards to veterans in nursing homes and individual donations to Veterans Hospital for personal care items were distributed. Susanna French Putney, El Dorado, organized July 10th, 1910, Nancy Gordon, Regent. For Project Patriot, a member's son is deployed. She shared information about the Soldier and Family Readiness Group. They support the 891st Engineering Battalion National Guard Unit in Iola to the Middle East. Soldiers and their families are provided back to school supplies, cards for soldiers, and care packages for soldiers' children. Service for Veterans, the chapter donated personal items to the residents of the Kansas Veterans Home in Winfield with a monetary donation of $575 to be used by the residents at the clothing closet. For Americanism, the mayor of Burns, Kansas signed a declaration for Constitution Week in September. Molly Foster Berry, Fort Scott, organized October 9th, 1911, Barbara Ritter, Regent. A poppy quilt continues to hang in the Bourbon County Courthouse during the month of November, commemorating our veterans. 3 chapter members participated in the Veterans Day Parade, dressing in 1776 costumes. 10 fleece blankets were made in October. 5 blankets were donated to veterans at Medical Lodge in Fort Scott. The other blankets were donated to the American Legion to be donated to veterans in need. In December, money was collected from members to purchase items needed for 5 veterans. Gift bags were decorated and Christmas cards signed to accompany the gifts. They participated in the afternoon of placing wreaths at the Fort Scott National Cemetery. A program was given on Amelia Earhart, who was born in Atchison, Kansas. Emporia chapter organized April 2nd, 1912, Angela Anderson, Regent. We read the National Defender and American Indian Minute at every meeting. Chapter member Elwanda McCabe participated in the no-sew fleece blankets, and another member, Lori DeWinkler, knitted hats. Council Grove organized August 10th, 1925, Ann Ott, Regent. For Project Patriot, members knitted over 100 helmet liners for troops, mailing them in 3 shipments overseas. Service to veterans, we participated in the Service to America Challenge by making over 20 fleece blankets dispersed to area veterans, with some taken to the VA Center in Topeka. 5 were given in conjunction with the Vietnam War Veteran Recognition event. 44 Vietnam veterans were given medals and certificates at drive-by events in 3 communities. Photographs were taken of service members and distributed to them later. For American Indians, we donated more than $250 to the Navajo and Chamawa schools. We were able to give 5 Indian Minute reports at meetings this year. We appreciated the most interesting and inspiring national defense reports each month. Peg Leg Gordon Winfield organized December 18th, 1928, Patricia Gaddy, Regent. Peg Leg Gordon chapter was unable to meet in 2020 due to the pandemic, health, and technology challenges. Members remained engaged by sending financial gifts to American Indian charities, the USO, DAV, and Toys for Tots during the shutdown. Isabella Weldon, Augusta, organized June 14, 1929, Jamie Barton, Regent. The Isabel Weldon chapter spent the majority of 2020 working to bring wreaths across America to the Elmwood Cemetery located in Augusta. 2020 proved to make that task difficult, as we had to cancel many of the fundraising events and meetings due to the COVID-19 restrictions. However, our daughters prevailed and succeeded in bringing wreaths across America to Augusta. Our daughters will continue to shine a light on this new tradition and grow into surrounding towns to honor those who serve this great nation. Jane D. Coffey, Coffeyville, organized December 7th, 1935, Janet K. Tarter, Regent. The Jane D. Coffey chapter signed and sent several Christmas cards to residents of the Robert Dole Veterans Home in Wichita. Bill Davis, a Cherokee Indian from South Coffeyville, Oklahoma, gave a program on the Cherokee Indian citizens of Oklahoma. Kofatik organized January 13, 1950, Linda Johnson, Regent. Kofatik chapter enjoyed a personal account of the Vietnam roll call given by a member who had the opportunity to attend this event in Washington, D.C. A member displayed and discussed several of her Native American artifacts. National Day of Service was observed by making fleece blankets and distributing them to veterans in the communities. Church bells and handbells were rung at a specified time during Constitution Week. Four Winds Chapter, Garnett, organized October 9th, 1969, Connie Becker, Regent. For Project Patriot, we heard of the need at Fort Riley for female veterans. Items were mailed to bring them sunshine. We also found out about a homesick soldier at basic training, and birthday cards were sent to brighten his day. Service to veterans, we honor veterans in 3 care facilities in Garnett. On Veterans Day, we gave them a star pin attached to a patriotic ribbon to say thank you. For Christmas, each one received a fleece blanket with a handmade card. Americanism, we proudly gave 1,500 patriotic items this year, such as American flags, pens, pencils, keychains, pins, wristbands, and bookmarks. Recipients were mainly veterans and school children. Gift cards were given to the Haskell Indian School and a donation towards a scholarship of a Native American to attend summer camp. For national defense, we were shown how to prepare a national book bag, a disaster book bag to have ready in an emergency. We are proud of our chapter name derived from the local Indians, saying that they could feel the winds blowing in all 4 directions from a hill in Anderson County. At this time, I'd like to honor our Alice Walker, honorary Kansas State Regent. The Four Winds chapter of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution are proud to have honor to show and explain that our past state regent, she served as the 35th Kansas State Regent from 1988 to 2001 under the administrative theme, Reading Doorway to Opportunity. Again, Mrs. Alice Walker, we honor you. Meridicine Chapter, Paola, organized December 10th, 1980, Ann Benton, Regent. For patriotism, over 1,600 face masks and 5 quilts of valor were made. 661 flags and 300 flag codes were distributed. Project Patriot, 190 Christmas cards were sent to the USS Theodore Roosevelt. 4 boxes sent to the USS Eisenhower. 2,529 coupons were sent to base exchanges, and 53 paracord bracelets to Fort Riley. Veterans were honored with tack pins, a student thank you note, and posters on Veterans Day. 44 wreaths across America were purchased. 11 faith home ministries were served with Kansas City homeless veteran backpacks. We supported 7 American Indian Haskell students with Walmart gift cards and co-sponsored Native American Month with an Indian bow making demonstration by special honoree Native American Edith Williams. Where the Trail Divides, Gardner organized April 9th, 2016, Linda Combs Regent. We donated $50 for the state project. A collection of coupons for the military bases weighed 112 pounds. Domestic coupons were 11,784, totaling in value of $37. Total value of all coupons sent was $532.19, collected from August to the end of December 2020. $90 in donations were sent to Fort Riley.
This completes the Southeast District chapters. Ms. Roberts, thank you for your presentation of the chapters, and thank you, chapter regents, for your work in DAR. The Council Grove chapter has been active for over 90 years in the service to God, home, and country. There are 50 members performing service in the community. They had 5 members who took leadership classes this past year. Congratulations to the Council Oak chapter as the outstanding chapter in the Southeast District. Ann Ott has earned the outstanding chapter regent in the Southeast District. She has served as vice regent and completed the Members and New Horizons courses. Congratulations, Ann. The Southwest District is comprised of 16 chapters with approximately 700 members. Virginia McNitt, Director, will give her district report, followed by the presentation of the chapters. Mrs. McNitt.
Hello. The Southwest District was unable to hold. The Southwest District report for the Southwest District is that our district was unable to hold in-person meetings at the Kansas State September meeting in 2020 due to the COVID pandemic protocols as mandated by the state of Kansas. No dues were collected, no minutes written. Plans to get back together soon, though, as we are able, have been put on hold. The business of DAR continued even in the pandemic. Zoom meetings were encouraged for the chapters, and as many DAR activities as possible were encouraged via telephone calls, texts, and emails. Bird Pruitt held a socially distanced membership activity, and although honor flights were canceled, the Wichita area chapters chose to participate in Wreaths Across America, make Christmas stockings, and garner supplies for veterans. Many other chapters participated in making masks and other personal protection items to donate for those in the medical profession.
The Martha Vale chapter, Anthony, Kansas, Regent Denise Fawcett. The mature, responsible, talented, happy, accountable, vivacious, and interested ladies of the Martha Vale chapter have been active in promoting the ideals of the DAR since founding of their chapter in April 27, 1931. We had a very productive year this year in Anthony. Despite shutdowns and COVID-19, we installed new members, we made fleece blankets for Kansas Veterans Home in Winfield, and wrote Christmas cards for the veterans and the USS Topeka. We work at food banks, thrift shops, and help in our communities whenever and wherever we can. And we logged over 5,000 volunteer hours. The Kansas State Registrar's granddaughter, Audrey Bebermeyer, a junior member, won the Kansas DAR scholarship. We are so proud of her. Randolph Loving, Wichita, Kansas, Regent Vicki Churchman. Randolph Loving's chapter's first Zoom meeting was our April celebration of our 85th anniversary of the founding of the chapter, April 13th, 1935, with State Regent Susan Metzger as our guest. During the summer, we honored the Friends of the Historic Fresh Air Baby Camp with a National Historic Preservation Recognition Award and a socially distanced outdoor ceremony with the mayor and our state representative in attendance. Excuse me. In September, we enjoyed a virtual suffragette tea party, and in October, we shared photos of family quilts. For our day of service, members dropped off 69 birthdays in a bag for a local food pantry, and our DAR Service to Veterans project was a project to make 51 Christmas stockings for the Winfield Veterans Home. Excuse me. Kansas chapter in Stafford, Kansas, Regent Barbara Grimmett. Focusing on lineage research and patriotic verification, the ladies of St. John, Kansas chose Kansas as their chapter name February 1st, 1940. Kansas is an Indian word meaning swift, inspiring members to do their best to promote the ideals of the DAR by serving in many state and national. Bird Pruitt, Ulysses, Kansas, Regent Catherine Fowler. The ladies of Bird Pruitt chapter contributed to the placing of the stained glass windows in the Cotillion Tower at Valley Forge in memory of their namesake soon after they were established on December 4th, 1940. We had an extremely informative program in 2020 where we opened to the public, presented by Pastor Warren Baldwin on the TV series Outlander, featuring the Regulators service before the Revolutionary War. Pastor Warren is a history teacher who has given us many PowerPoint programs on various subjects on U.S. history. Martha Loving Farrell, Wichita, Kansas. To honor their patriot namesake, Martha Loving Farrell observed the Constitution's sesquicentennial by holding their organizing meeting September 17, 1937. Soon after they were approved, they began sponsoring teas for nationalization ceremonies and passing out flags to new citizens. Although we have not been open for meetings since the pandemic, our officers have kept our members in touch through a monthly newsletter. This picture is one of our members making quilts for the veterans in October for our day of service. William Wilson Chapter, Garden City, Regent Dixie Drake. The year 2020 was probably one of the most difficult the William Wilson Chapter has experienced since its founding February 3rd, 1948. COVID-19 and the weather kept us from having all our planned meetings in the spring. We had 4 members, though, that donated 22 coats for our 6th annual DAR Day of Service project, Coats for Kids. William Wilson Chapter members continue to log volunteer hours, and we rise and shine for America. Flores del Sol, Wichita, Kansas. A VAVS representative for the Robert J. Dole VA Medical Center and Flores del Sol member, Karen Malcolm, applied for and received a $2,500 Welcome Home grant for a Place to Lay Your Head project, which provided 10 beds for the VA's HUD VASH program for homeless veterans, a concern of this chapter since its founding, December 30th, 1956. Constitution Week displays and proclamations were obtained from the cities of Wichita and Rose Hill and Sedgwick County by Mary Jo Jury. Flags of the USA were provided for an elementary school classroom. Cimarron River Valley, Liberal, Kansas, Regent Leslie Bissell. Just 55 years old, established October 15, 1966, the Cimarron River Valley chapter started off the year with our annual President Day's Tea to honor our DAR Good Citizen, our Community Service Award recipients, and elementary students who participated in our Constitution Week coloring contest. Later in the year, we attended a City Commission meeting where we received a proclamation honoring Constitution Week. Little Rock, Kansas, Valley Center, Kansas. Local businesses on Main Street, Valley Center, participated in the Little Rock, Kansas chapter's celebration of Bells Across America and 9/11 by ringing bells and waving flags with chapter members for Constitution Week. They took the opportunity to display signs downtown, dress up in period clothing, and supply U.S. flags for students. For the KSDAR Day of Service, they made 15 quilts for veterans, which were delivered to the Robert Dole VA Center and to a foster group home for veterans. 3 packages of items were sent to an active duty servicewoman overseas, and 89 pairs of socks were given to the VA Medical Center for veterans. We participated in Wreaths Across America at 5 different cemeteries, placing a total of 233 wreaths on veterans' graves, a great way to promote and honor DAR since our organization in October 9th, 1984. Mary Draper Chapter, our newest chapter in Wichita, Kansas. The newest member of the Southwest District of Kansas is the Mary Draper Chapter, organized February 5th, 2017. They kept busy during 2020 despite the pandemic, promoting DAR training with 2 new member graduates and 4 New Horizon graduates, 2 registrar training, 4 GEP1, 4 GEP2, 3 GEP3, and 2 GEP4 courses completed. 36% of our members have completed at least one set of training courses, and all of our executive board officers have completed both the new member and the New Horizon courses. We sewed and distributed hundreds of masks, provided 61 quilts over the holiday, and continued Wreaths Across America.
Mrs. McNitt, thank you for your introductions of the chapters and to all of the chapter regions for your tenacity and ingenuity to show hospitality in your communities, especially to the veterans. The outstanding chapter is Martha Vale for the Southwest District. With 54 members and still adding, they surpass membership goals and continue to provide members with service opportunities to serve their community. Congratulations to the Martha Vale chapter. Denise Fawcett has only been a member since 2018, yet has served the chapter as the chaplain and the vice regent before becoming regent. She completed the new members course and the New Horizons course. Congratulations, Denise, as the outstanding regent for the Southwest District. Please bring your attention to the screen. The Sons of the American Revolution recognizes these KSDAR chapters whose members have referred applicants for SAR membership through the Kansas SAR in 2020. Appreciation to the SARs for recognizing these special daughters. The last recognition is for the State Outstanding Chapter and the State Outstanding Chapter Regent. It is a pleasure to announce the Polly Ogden Chapter and Laura Renfro Regent, who are the state winners. Congratulations to Laura and to the members of the Polly Ogden Chapter for their dedicated work for DAR. Let's show some sunshine hands. This concludes the celebration of our Kansas chapter regents in recognizing patriotism activities and the achievements of the chapter members. We congratulate the outstanding chapters and chapter regents on their many accomplishments over a most unprecedented year in our history. Many thanks to the dynamic district directors for their assistance in coordinating the celebration. Thank you for the Kansas members for joining us this evening in the celebration. Welcome home.